Hello friends, welcome to a new episode of the Mind Map by Rosalind Bosco. Today I'm very happy to welcome you all to the show because I would like to speak about a very important topic, which is heaven and hell. Before delving into the topic, I would like you to watch my interview with Alex Ferrari on the nextlevelsoul.com, where we have discussed about hell, and I have said that hell does not exist. I would like to give some more ideas, discuss more about that to get a better understanding. And this I would like to do from the perspective of a man who committed mass murders, the deliberate killing of a particular group of people, which is called genocide. And now we are going to look at it from the perspective of Hitler. I would like to say that these perspectives are not something that come out from my imagination, but is the result of near-death experience, studies and experiences of consciousness of people who have had a clinical death and who face the after effects of their death. That is, as soon as they die, they pass on, their consciousness moves on to the next level where they undergo certain stages. So this is what we are going to discuss about from the point of view of Hitler. Now, in my interview with Alex Ferrari, I have voiced my opinion that there is no hell. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me go step by step, my dear friends. The first step is that the premise is that we do not rise up with our physical bodies. I hope all of you agree with me in this point, because when we die, we leave our physical selves behind down on earth, and it is only our consciousness that rises to another dimension. And in the olden days, what we called spirits or a soul is what is called consciousness these days. So when this consciousness goes to another level, according to near-death experience studies and research that have been going on for hundreds of years, it is said that this consciousness passes through a tunnel and then it sees a faint spark of light, and which leads on to a bright light. And sometimes this consciousness, which has the consciousness which has just departed from earth, it hears a voice and of unconditional love, and then this consciousness moves into the light and merges into the light. This is the experience of millions of people who have had clinically proved near-death experiences and who have come back to earth. Now let's go to our part of the analysis, which is what would have Hitler faced after his death. Because from the point of view of the Bible, Jesus Christ says, forgive your enemies innumerable number of times, infinite number of times. So would a God, would a religious figure who says that you should forgive everybody for their faults, would such a God be really vindictive or venomous or punish human beings? So when we look at Hitler's perspective, we know that he committed genocide, and we are not able to still reconcile with such mass killings of a particular group of people. So what would Hitler have seen? What would his consciousness have seen immediately after he died? Now, when Hitler was alive, he was a kind of a megalomaniac who believed in power and avenging people, and who had his own personal convictions. But after his death, if Hitler's consciousness, when Hitler's consciousness goes through the same level of near-death experience, passes through the tunnel and sees the light, and that consciousness, Hitler's consciousness, realizes that all his life on earth, where he believed that targeting a certain class, a certain group of people, ethnicity of ethnic killing of masses, was totally wrong. And then near-death experience research says that the consciousness has a near-death review, which means judgment. When we look at the Christian point of view, we call it the judgment of souls. So here it is called a review in near-death experience research. So when the consciousness goes through a review, the soul has to step into the other person's point of view. Like, for example, Hitler would have had to go through, his consciousness would have had to go through all the extreme brutality that he and his army imposed on millions of people. So when that consciousness undergoes the trauma and the brutality that it had imposed on millions of people, imagine the pain that Hitler would have had to go through as a consciousness. He would have experienced all the trauma, all the hell, I would say, that he inflicted on the people he killed, the murders he did. So when I spoke about hell and heaven in the interview with Alex Ferrari on nextlevelsoul.com, the point of view is that we need to reconcile that God is unconditionally loving. So, but the consciousness of an individual is different. When we come down to earth, we are conditioned to believe in so many different things. We are deluded into believing so many different things. This world is like a playground of delusions. So some believe in power, some believe in money, some believe in beauty, some believe in fame. There are so many things you can get deluded with. But when you rise above these delusions and move on, but the total understanding that these are not true, but only eternal life is true, then your consciousness shifts to the next level. But again, when we look at the case of Hitler, he was deluded by all the power he had and his hatred of a particular group of people. So the soul, Hitler's soul, when it was in the presence of unconditional love called God, the soul itself goes through all these sufferings and realizes that it has led a very, uh, the most disgraceful life on earth. And then the soul, in this realization, the consciousness in this realization, decides to come back, reincarnate. So supposing a person who commits such crimes like mass murders, imagine this soul decides to come back as a totally powerless person, uh, a person who is afflicted by something terrible, who is helpless and has to be taken care of by others, a totally helpless soul. So this is not a hell which is given by a punishing God, my dear friends. This is your own personal hell which you have experienced on the other side, and you decide that you have done so much atrocities on the earth, and then you come back, you reincarnate, and this time your soul's purpose is totally different. It is not delusional. It is not based on the power or riches or the fame or money or the beauty or whatever you might have. So here you come back with a better understanding, and you try to fulfill your soul's purpose the next time. So when we say that there is no hell, we mean that hell is not a place where you can go with your physical body. It is only your consciousness that moves to the next level. And there your consciousness meets the creator or God or unconditional love or light. And then you have your judgment, which is called the life review. What is different here is that this judgment is not given by God, as Jesus Christ says throughout the Bible, that God is unconditionally loving in the case of the prodigal son and so many different places. So it's not that God judges you, your soul judges itself and decides to come back and do justice to your purpose in life the second time through reincarnating on earth. So I hope you have a better understanding of heaven and hell, my dear friends, because unless we overcome all these delusions and move to the next level, we cannot get closer to God. And we have been misled to believe that God is going to punish us, that God is judgmental. All our human perceptions have been imposed on God, because we cannot understand a God who is totally, who has unconditional love, total love in spite of what we do. But then we realize that judgment is there, a review is there, and you undergo all the pain that you inflicted on others at the other end, and then you realize, and then you come back in another form which you can choose for the best experiences of the growth of your soul. So my dear friends, I hope you have a better understanding of what I discussed with Alex Ferrari on the nextlevelsoul.com. And this is not what I imagined and presented to you, my dear friends. This is the result of consciousness research. So when you go to Wikipedia and search for this, you realize that 10 to 15% of people have had near-death experiences, and many are unable to realize what it is. Many are unable to understand the full magnitude of the experience that they had. Many are shy to come out of the closet. But from my point of view, when we make these near-death experiences open and public, there is a lot of opportunity for people to understand and realize what they do on this earth, what their purpose on life is, and the should and shouldn't of life. So my book, The Brimstone Fallacy, is based on this research and how God is totally filled with unconditional love. And the Brimstone Fallacy breaks many myths of a judgmental, a punishment-oriented God, my dear friends. So I hope your understanding would be clearer by now. And it is not only Hitler, my dear friends. When these judgments or reviews happen, on the other side, even a small minor incident of hurting people with your words or with your action or with misunderstanding or abuse, even the minute detail has to be experienced by your soul. For example, if I hurt somebody, I utter a wrong word about somebody, or I hurt somebody with my words, I use unparliamentary words, then I would have to face that experience at the other end and regret it. And it is my soul that decides that I will be a better person, I will evolve, I will grow in consciousness and be a better person at least the next time. So I hope I have made myself very clear, my dear friends. Follow me on YouTube on the mindmaverick.com. And this is read my books on Amazon, The Brimstone Fallacy, God Has Our Backs, and Co-Create with Your Universe. This is Rosalind Bosco, the Mind Maverick, signing off. Thank you.